Hello and a very warm welcome to ET Studios, powered by ET Auto. We're coming to you live from Bharat Mobility Global Expo 2025 here in New Delhi. Joining me now is Manav Kapur. He's the Executive Director at SteelBird and also the Chairman at ACMA YBLF. Manav, welcome. Pleasure to have you here in ET Studios.
Thank you for having me, Davina.
Thank you. So, Manav, of course, we're here at this wonderful platform, Bharat Mobility. Can you tell us a little bit about how you see platforms, expos like this one, really helping to put the Indian auto sector on a global map?
Absolutely. So we've been participating at the Auto Expo earlier. Now it's turned into Bharat Mobility for more than 15 years now.
Yes.
And I've seen the show grow. It's only gone better and bigger every year. And this has actually helped us in kind of making ourselves visible and recognizable at the international platforms as well. So it's become the largest show in Asia now. And once you say that to someone outside the country, it gives you a lot of recognition.
Yes.
Like something big is happening here in India, for sure.
Definitely.
So the show has been very interesting for us because we've seen all kinds of people come in here. Right from, I've had the purchase heads to CEOs of the leading OEMs to the roadside mechanics, everyone visiting at the same booth.
Yes.
So it gives us a lot of opportunity to showcase our products to the entire spectrum of the customers.
Yes.
And this way, it makes it a lot easier for all people like us to kind of, be accessible by all these stakeholders of the industry.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Yeah. So where do you see, according to you, is India's position on a global map when it comes to the auto industry? Where does India stand today and where can we expect to see things moving in the coming years?
Yeah. So India is already number 3 globally.
Yes.
And in a lot of things, we are number 1 already. And as I know, we are trade positive at component level. So this is a clear indication that we headed in the right direction. As even the Prime Minister said yesterday that, we are the 5th largest economy, but we're the 3rd largest auto component industry in India. So definitely we are kind of taking the lead there. And I think going forward, this will continue. And a lot of components, especially with what's happening geopolitically, a lot of interest to kind of relocate production facilities outside certain countries is something where we can take a lot of benefit at because we have the right kind of mindset, the understanding and the know-how to manufacture products like these.
Yes, absolutely. So what would you say are some of the steps that Indian manufacturers can look at when it comes to fostering a healthy, sustainable collaboration with their international counterparts?
So first and the most important thing, because we also have multiple partnerships in place, and first thing what we see is like whatever we are trying to partner with, we should be complementing each other, not competing.
Absolutely.
So whatever we see, it's probably a strength for us, but that's a weakness for the other one. That's where you should need to come together and kind of conspire together to compete with others.
Yes. That's a good tip there.
Yeah.
And of course, speaking of trends, we're talking all about sustainability today, digitization, electrification, big trends here at the Bharat Expo. What is your take on these trends and how do you see, again, a platform like this helping organizations to come on board and to really look at the future India roadmap?
So these trends have always been there.
Yeah.
They're just accelerating now, I would say.
Absolutely.
Because if you look at the vehicles, they were manufactured probably 20 years ago or 30 years ago, and you look at the vehicles today, because we've seen it transition slowly, that's why we don't see the difference that much. But if you look at the vehicles produced in probably the late 90s or early 2000s and produced today, there's a drastic change.
Yep.
And another going forward, it's going to continue this way.
Yes.
And we should, as an industry, we should look at it as an opportunity instead of looking at it as a threat, like, oh, things are changing. We look at it as an opportunity. How can we contribute and get maximum results out of this?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But how can organizations also create that balance in rapid growth? Because of course, that's ultimately what everyone is looking at, and keeping all the environmental factors at the center actually of the strategy.
So that's become, environment, especially in auto sector, which is a very mature sector, I'll say, there's always an awareness. And the awareness is already there. There's a lot of certifications which are required. For large OEMs. If you want to supply to large OEMs, they will look at what are your environmental things you're doing. What is the impact you're leaving on the environment? There's a lot of certifications they'll ask for. ESG has come in a very strong way in the country, and a lot of companies are even asking for how green your power is, how green your steel is. So definitely there's a push from the larger OEMs, and that has actually made the tier ones also think, and the tiers as well, to think on how do we be more sustainable.
Yes. What are some of the key challenges, though, that Indian manufacturers face when it comes to keeping ESG and generally environmental factors?
Okay, so I don't want to comment on something which probably is not in my control, but what we've seen is that things which are out of our control, especially when it comes to power. So there's only a limit of how much of green power we can get in this country, because a lot of our power is actually not green. So when we look at that, and a lot of customers, not a lot, but a few of them would actually look at that as well, and say that, if your country is producing electricity by burning coal, then you're not green enough. So that is one challenge which is beyond our control, but I would not blame it totally that, okay, because of that we're not able to grow. That's the biggest challenge we have. But this is a challenge as an industry, as a country, we need to address. And sooner or later, this will catch up, and a lot of other companies will start asking for something like this.
Yes. Well, thank you for that insight. Absolutely true. Before we wrap up, looking ahead, what long-term impact do you think, again, an expo like this plays? And how do you, your organizations that you represent, how do you directly benefit?
So it's for someone like us who've been here for long, and we keep on doing it every year on year, is because this is where everyone comes and we get to meet everyone together. This is a platform to demonstrate whatever new you're doing. So if I have to go to probably 100 customers and go and demonstrate what we are doing new, it will take me probably years to do that. Whereas everyone is coming here. So this platform is going to help us a lot in showcasing whatever new developments we are doing. It's probably, I'll say, it's a show of strength of all companies here participating, how strong we are in our growth, in our development, or in our research, or whatever we're doing. And plus, it was a very good opportunity for people who are looking for customers, because a lot of customers will come for alternate sourcing here, for new product development. So on an entire scale, I would say it's a great opportunity for the entire industry to be at the show.
Wonderful. Well, all the best, Manav. Thank you so much for being here on ET Studios. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.